Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Monday, August 23rd at 12 o'clock. Bandwidth looks good. I think we're back in action, boys and girls. Markets look pretty good. A little more than pretty good. I mean, even the S&P is looking quite solid, and Ethereum and Bitcoin look like they're ready to rip to the upside. We're going to take a look at the charts, obviously, and see what's going on. I just want to remind folks, and that's remind folks of the topic that I wanted to hit on today, because we've been through this over the last years. There's a lot of veterans in the space, and over the last years, we've seen plenty of market cycles. One second, guys. My little daughter, Angel. Markets are strong until they aren't, and we need to remind folks about what happens, because we know what happens. We've been there, we've done that, we've seen these things. Got a nice couple of comments we're going to hit on real quick. Let's get the party started. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social goods. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, non-custodial, DeFi, or nothing at all. Bam. Let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. Boom. Andrew, my man, coming out strong. Hi, Noah. Using Aave for DeFi loan for the first time, keeping loan to value low for now, 12%, but wanted to say thanks for all the teachings as I'm comfortable. Know what to look for now. Yeah, Aave loans, it's just leverage, it's debt, and it's very powerful and meaningful, and it's something that I avoid, but I currently have some debt. You're going to use primarily collateralizable assets. You're not going to use like stablecoins as collateral to borrow stablecoins, but you use a variety of other assets as such. Bitcoin and Ethereum make perfect sense to collateralize and extract equity and put that equity to work. So you have the appreciation of your principal collateral assets, and you're using the equity to generate an additional revenue stream. Makes sense. Good stuff. Good stuff. Was wondering if you heard of Avagachi. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't play around with it too much. You can't play with everything. The whole space is swamped with things to do. And it's an explosion, an opportunity explosion. So you'll never be able to play with everything. Avagachi is interesting. I myself have stuck primarily to my core crypto positions, yield-bearing portfolio, and I recently allocated a fair amount to the NFT space. I've been strategic, a little sloppy in just a couple of positions, but mostly my core NFT positions I think have been quite well chosen. Platform you like on Avex, Benqui. I haven't been playing around with Avex, Avalanche. I don't need to. I was around for Polygon's explosion. I saw Polygon because I saw what Binance Smart Chain did, and I knew Avalanche was going to do what it's going to do because of what Polygon did. And Solana is going to do it as well. And I'm sure Phantom will have its day, and eventually Cardano as well. You don't need to play all these markets. What I like to find comfort in is protocols that span the markets, span the blockchains. So I don't need to liquidate an asset so I could have capital to be able to bridge over to Avalanche, to be able to deploy and experience capital gains. I hate capital gains. They drive me nuts. I want yield. I want income. One, it's easier on taxes, and two, it's just there's no slippage, there's no losses. I don't want to convert from one asset to another. I want to rest comfortable in my convictions and my chosen positions, and I think I currently have that kind of conviction. And I remind you all, the title of the stream: markets are awesome sauce until they're not. So we've seen some serious pull downs over the years, and I'm sure we will. I think it's irrelevant if I say I think we're going to go higher, I think we're going to go lower. It doesn't matter. You can't think in that mentality. If the market goes higher, yay. If the market goes lower, not fun, but that doesn't have any implications on the convictions I have for the positions I have, with the time horizon that I have in mind. And the interest will just keep coming. The income stream will be unaffected by a bear market. The quantity of the income will change, and who knows by how much, but was pertinent, it will be a continuous income stream. And as the market rebuilds over the coming years, likely higher and better than what we've seen thus far, then I'll be back in the fun zone. So, a lot of folks, it's a lot of anxiety doing this. I myself speak from a point of reference having done as such. Trading, excessive trading, trading from one asset to another, looking at the dollar denomination and watching it go down and taking 5% hits on slippage, 10% hits on slippage. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't have time for that. I don't have the patience. I don't have the stomach for it. I don't need the capital gains. They're nice, 2, 3, 4, 5x on your money. But I rather the steady, predictable, consistent income stream because I model it like a salary, like a business. And if I'm making 2 times my salary in crypto income, it's actually 3 times right about now. What the hell am I going to chase capital gains for? Am I that greedy? I ultimately think chasing capital gains, buy low, sell high, I think that's greedy. If I was older and what I knew what I know now, and it was pre-crypto time, I probably would have been a dividend investor. You guys know what I'm saying? Old timers, well-aged persons in the stream. I would have been a dividend investor. I want my 5, 10, 15% yield. And how do you make money with 5, 10, 15% yield on like old school, REITs and shit? You got to have more capital, which means I'm going to work and I'm saving my money and I'm spending less and I'm accumulating a principal position that 5, 10, 15% generates an income. Conveniently, in the crypto space, you're getting 60% on your money. So you need much less principal to have a significant income. That's the deal. The captain's in the house. Hey, man. My man. Markets are strong until a negative statement from the Fed. Yeah, they're going to taper the shit out of something. I don't know. Are they? Is our behavior tied to the public statements of a non-governmental organization? That's not the way I want to live my life. I know that their statements and the policy and the macroeconomics affect my portfolio, my overall wealth. But I know as an engineer, as a software developer, as a technologist, as an entrepreneur, I know where my capital is deployed. That's where it belongs. I am expressing the way I see the markets, and I have more comfort and conviction than ever that where my capital is deployed is correct. Find your comfort. Find your future. Find your peace of mind. The way when you find your comfort and conviction and you're able to deploy capital, and it's not about diamond hands and that bullshit. You're expressing yourself. That's freedom. So do yourself a favor, show yourself some respect. Find the way to express the way you see the future, the way you see this technology, the way you see the markets, and respect yourself. I guess that's somewhat of what I'm trying to say. A lot of what I try and say is just, expressing the way I see things. And just, me verbalizing the way I see what I do. Dogoshi in the house, them hats, them Dow boys. Yeah, that's cool stuff. I grabbed the hat, grabbed an application, got me a little hat action. Just saying, just saying. Got some Google glasses on my them hat. Awesome. Rupert, bro, my man, what's up? Breakless afternoon, Noah. Rupert, hope you're well. Killis in the house. Patrick, anyone in the Northeast? So much rain. Yeah. My history's from the Northeast. I was a New Yorker my whole life. I'm an evacuee in Florida. Tax heaven. Patrick, I think I made a mistake taking USDT loan against my Ethereum to buy CVX CRV. Can't pay the loan back now because they obviously don't want to sell Curve. Guess I'll chip away at the loan. So that's what a lot of people do. You take a leverage position, you get your CVX CRV, and you use your yield to pay down your debt. You have leveraged your equity. It's not the worst way to do things. I, I, uh, I, as compared to selling your Ethereum for a full-on CVX CRV position, that's the alternative. So you've leveraged the equity. So, just make sure that your health factor is significant just in case there's a moderate drawdown. I keep my health factor very healthy. I don't like taking a lot of debt. I don't like a lot of leverage. How am I at? I think I'm at 4. So Ethereum could literally get pummeled 3.99. I got to pay that down. But I have it. Excuse me. It's in my Frax. I have it denominated in dollars. So my debt I like to keep in dollar denomination. And maybe I was thinking about keeping the dollar denominated debt. It's a fixed rate debt position. And I have about 30 and change on top of the debt. Maybe I'll play around with Avalanche a little bit and have some fun. But these things unlock in 2 days, 4 days. About 4 days, I'll have, is that 776 chip to play around with. But I owe 48, so, food for thought. And maybe I don't even have the time to play around with Avalanche, and I'm not FOMOing. It's all good. Hope people make capital. Um, I do like Avalanche. I like the burn, or how all transaction fees are burned. But it's all good. I don't need to have it. Want it? Maybe I'll bridge over the stables and I'll earn an Avalanche position. I'll yield it with incentivized returns, which is nice. I mean, it is one of the largest incentive systems deployed on a chain thus far. But I sure as hell am not going to trade. And I'm not, I don't even remember the last time I traded something. The only thing I've been trading is really like Ethereum to W Ethereum so I can buy NFTs. um, Andrew, no, I saw on Frax that they have VEFXS. Are you interested in locking up Frax? I have a very large or moderately large VEFX position. I bought about 60 grand worth of Frax, like 2 and change. So clearly that's up like 100% on the money. And Frax is doing ridiculously well. So let's pull up Frax real quick. Frax is heavily traded on Binance, so we'll take a look at it against BUSD. It had a big rip last night. That was a massive rip. So this is the daily candle. That's a heck of a daily candle. So someone accumulated the crap out of FXS, Frax shares. So if you zoom in on like the 30 man, you see there's all of a sudden a lot of activity, and that's a heck of a candle. So it's a deflationary asset. As Frax is over peg, Frax is minted and used to purchase FXS on the open market and burn it. So that's the FXS 1559 is their improvement or protocol that they implemented. You can see that in the documentation if you're interested documentation. So I have it here. That was quick. FXS 1559. FXS is a deflationary monetary policy. Boom. So yeah, I have some MTA that's going to come unlocked at the end of next month. I'm going to take, it's probably like 15 grand worth of MTA. I'm going to move it over to FXS into a VEFXS position. Ultimately, what I'm doing is I'm consolidating and concentrating. I still have a lot. I mean, I still, here, let me go over what I'm reducing. Predominant position is still curve in the form of mostly CVX-CRV with a fair amount of VECRV, which is great because now with our bribe we get an additional revenue stream, which is turning out to be like $400 or $500 a week at this point. That's pretty cool. Ethereum is my second highest position by dollar denomination. Rent's still up there. Rent's still up there, holding on at 64 cents. Ooh, that's coming back nice. That was probably that was one that of my original investments back in like my big heavier investments back in like March 2020. Ren's the one that stuck around. Um, Damn, that was a 6 cent entry. That's a 10x thus far on Ren. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then Frax shares is number 4 for my position size. Fair amount of FXS, 21,000 FXS. Cosmos has been ripping. Look at the chart. I won't pull it up, but the chart for Cosmos has been popping as Avalanche has been hot and Solana's been hot. So is Cosmos. Hot, hot, hot. And then after Cosmos is my lonely Bitcoin. I got one Bitcoin I hold on to. Why? Because it's one Bitcoin. It's awesome. Still holding on to a Bancor position. I'm not unlocking it. I'm just going to let it ride. It compounds. I'll check back in 20 years and that'll be awesome. Small, moderate Polkadot position, a little bit smaller than my Bancor. MTA is going to get liquidated. That's after Polkadot. Synthetics has been hanging around. So I was in Synthetics at like 70 cents. It's like $14 right now. All the Synthetics I have now was yield over the last year and a half. So it's a decent Synthetics position that compounds and grows and grows and grows. Still have 25 Aave. I'm just going to hold on to it. That's pretty cool. I got a bunch of other small stuff, but I don't want a large portfolio. I want a concentrated portfolio in the things that I have the most conviction in. And that's what I think I've done quite well. What else? What else? Leonardo, capital gains is not the long-term goal of the world, but working on that helps us increase our permanent income positions, such as your CVX-CRV position. In my case, it's cake and BTC. Yeah, it's cool. As long as you have a decent ideology and you stick to it and you have your conviction. You know, a lot of people are afraid of cake, and I myself included, because it's on the Binance Smart Chain, and um, we could easily be cut off for a variety of reasons, being in the continental United States. I mean, literally to interact with it, you need a VPN, otherwise you can't get capital off Binance Smart Chain from the official bridge. So that's concerning unto itself. But that's all good. As long as you're aware of the risks you are taking, and that's part of the calculation, that's what's most meaningful. I love that. That is freedom. Yeah, freedom. Yes, it is. Conviction. Conviction. Interesting. Lots of good things to think of. Captain Weber Cosmos has had the 3 digits. Cosmos, the captain, and I, and Cosmos. We've talked about this many a times, and this is part of the China narrative, boys and girls. It's not just Cosmos. Cosmos is a network of blockchains. And what is Cosmos integrated into? Vis-a-vis IrisNet, the BSN, Blockchain Service Network. And what is the BSN? Oh, you guys got to see this. Come on. BSN, bsnbase.io. Come on, this is the most obvious, ridiculous macro crypto narrative. It's just so obvious, guys. Come on. You got to see this. You got to see this. So the BSN was started by the State Information Center, China Mobile, China UnionPay, and Red Data Tech. If you know anything about China, anything in China is the Chinese government. Sure, they're corporations, and they have grown have more power over the years, but it's the government. This BSN is basically started by the government. They're going to deliver blockchain services to the Chinese nation. And just look up Look up this. IRETA. You gonna load or what? IRETA. The IRETA Foundation. Enterprise level product built with Cosmos and Iris SDK developed by Iris Network Core Development Team in Bianchi. Blockchain services for business and enterprise. Built on Iris, and Iris has the Stargate. If you go over to Osmos, it's already Stargate integrated. So I'm not going to log into Kepler. If you go over to trade, you'll see that Iris is already integrated into Stargate, and you can trade it cross blockchain. So Osmos is another Cosmos hub, and you're able to trade assets cross blockchain. Oh my God. So anything on a Cosmos hub is across the entire Cosmos hub ecosystem. So the fact that IrisNet is part of the BSN means all of Cosmos is across the BSN because it'll all be interoperable. And Polkadot's in the BSN as well. And I mean, literally, this is just tantalizing. And Ethereum, there's plenty of blockchains. Solana's in there. But what catches me is Ethereum, IrisNet, and Polkadot. Those are my three that I'm interested in. Solana, I mean, FTX, come on. SBF, crazy sauce. He's an alien. He's got to be. He's on another level. So Teslas, they all have some legs. They all have legs. Fine, great. You gonna buy them all? No, I'm gonna stick to Ethereum, IrisNet, and Polkadot, and Cosmos. Crazy sauce, crazy sauce. My man Captain got them strong hands. It's because of that fishing. Leonardo, I am from Latin America. There's no problem with China. I understand the limitations in the U.S. with that. Yep. So that's the deal. It's all good. So, everyone has a different story and a different reality. Period. Quite reasonable. Yeah, we can't do shit with regard to finance in the United States. They're protecting us for our protection. Ethereum looking hot. It's back above the guppies, dipped down, but that was a fail breakdown. Didn't even get below the bottom guppies on the 15 min. Looking strong. Woo! That's gonna be hot. Let's load up. Let's load up the Bitcoin chart real quick. That looks good too. It just moves slower. And we got teal guppies on the daily. Enough said. We're about to have a 50 SMA 200 EMA bullish cross. Let's take a look at ES real quick, which is S&P futures. Oh my God. All-time high. Spectacular. Coming off somewhat of a leaning inverse head and shoulders, which kind of makes sense why it's up there. So the title of the stream is Markets are hot until they're not. Markets are strong until they aren't. As much as we see bullishness and awesomeness and the capacity to make capital gains, I don't trust shit. I expect this thing to completely implode. I expect the dollar to scream higher, bonds to go to infinity, massive risk-off events, but I'm prepared. If this was March 2020 and I had my positions that I have currently and I'm getting the yield that I am currently, even if they're cut in half by 75% reduction in yield, I'd just sit through it. I go back to the pool, spend time with the girls, and I just sit through it. I'm not worried about where this is heading. I have a more clear vision of where things are heading than ever. Than ever. There is no rush. I know the positions I have. Sure, there's plenty that I want, but I am effectively expressing the way I see the markets and where the markets are heading. I don't need to have the anxiety. I don't need to have the fear of missing out. I don't need to. I don't need to be doing too much. I want to do less. Time is money, and if I can have my assets work for me, so I don't have to work for me, I'm heading in the right direction. If you're doing too much work and you're doing excessive trading, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's my opinion. Um, Last couple of comments. Chris, hi, no, I'm planning to pull about 150K of equity out of rental property and deposit on Anchor. What do you think about the idea? Do you see another protocol that would keep the principal safe? I'm not a fan of debt, so I don't know what to say about that. The Bitcoin family turned their house into a fortune, where they sold their house and they bought Bitcoin at $900. A lot of it. So they're countless multimillionaires over millionaires at this point. So I'm not one to judge. You know, everything is a risk in life. Saylor talks about pulling out all the equity you can. And in 4 or 5 years' time, you're going to have more value in Bitcoin. You just got to have that long-term time horizon and conviction. It's not a bad idea. There's a risk involved, and I personally would not risk. Well, it's a rental property, so it's not your primary property. So these are things that you must consider. And I like to think at the end of the day, if I have the worst case scenario covered, I could sleep at night and go through the day without excess anxiety. So, food for thought. If so, that's probably the best thing I could say, Chris. If you're going to pull that equity out and the markets take a fat shit, will you have increased anxiety? If you won't and you have conviction and you have your time horizon, then that's reasonable. If you're going to be in a difficult situation with regard to free liquidity or capital requirements or expense requirements, so on and so forth, overhead, you know, that's something I wouldn't want to entertain. I need to be able to relax and know that I have worst case scenario covered. Food for thought. Food for thought. Monday, August 23rd, 12:27 p.m. As always, I thank everyone for joining me. Tell everyone to subscribe after party in the Discord, and I will see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good one now. Peace.